Welcome back to Broadway's Next on Stage, sponsored by the International College of Musical Theater. And I'm your host, Richard Ridge. Last week, we introduced you to our top 10 contestants from our college category. Since then, you voted, and tonight we're back to reveal the top 5. Now, our top 5 received the most votes from our most recent round of voting, which opened on Monday, May 24th, and closed last night at midnight. And you voted them into our top 5. And now our esteemed panel of judges will join us to provide valuable feedback for them to use in their next round of performances that'll be voted on by the public next week. Our judges will also review performances from our 3 contestants who didn't quite make the top 5, pushing one of them forward to compete in the next round and for your votes. Now let's welcome back our judges. Please say hello to Queen Leslie Margarita, Kate Rockwell, and Courtney Reed.
I like it. We can keep silent.
Ladies, are you ready? Top 5.
We're so ready, Richie. Let's do it.
But we have your favorite guest judges here this week.
Woo!
Yes, you know him from his performances in Anastasia, The Bridges of Madison County, Wicked, Dogfight, and Carrie. And he's a Tony nominee this year for his wonderful performance in Jagged Little Pill. Please welcome back Derek Klena.
Wait, why does
Get back together?
Your name thing? We have to put Tony nominee Derek Klena.
Yeah.
Yes. Very fun.
Derek, we're so excited that you're joining us, and we're thrilled that the Tony Awards were announced for Sunday, September 26th. We are all going to be there on Paramount Plus and, of course, on CBS, rooting you on and your show, Jagged Little Pill, which is sitting right behind me somewhere over here.
Love it. Thank you. Yeah, very exciting.
I know, I never know where to point. I feel like we're the Brady Bunch somewhere, like all these little, they keep switching out on us. So judges, this week we asked our contestants to share a Broadway performer that they idolize. So growing up, was there a performer that you just loved, a Broadway performer? Anybody can start. Who wants to go first?
Oh, we are doing it too.
You ask each of you. Broadway performer you were growing up that you idolized, that you listened to like on cassette or your Walkman or I don't know, whatever, CDs or who you idolize.
Hear you, Richie?
I have
iPods.
I have an iPod. Okay.
I was Cheetah.
Oh, okay.
The one right behind you, Kiss of the Spider-Woman.
Yeah. Oh, Cheetah's yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it just her fiery? Was it just her voice? Was it everything?
She was like a rad triple threat that she's just awesome. Dude, she's just, yeah.
Yeah, she's
To this day.
house, as you can see. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
Kate, for you.
It was Bernadette. I was so obsessed with her. I'm like trying to come up with like the not obvious answer. And I was like, but that's who I listen to. I like listened. We had this album. I can't even remember what Sondheim concert it actually was. We had a Sondheim concert CD that I listened to. Like I had like scratched the CD. So you had to like skip certain songs. But her version of Being Alive is like the #1 like song that was like the reason I wanted to be musical theater.
Beautiful. Courtney, for you.
I mean, this is the obvious answer too, but Lea Salonga for me all the way. I mean, come on, the voice of Jasmine, the voice of Mulan. Like, I would go on road trips when we would play Miss Saigon. And I mean, now thinking back at it, it was like so depressing to listen to Miss Saigon like on your road trip on your vacation. But I mean, she's an icon.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Derek, for you.
Yeah, I mentioned a couple yesterday, but there's like 1 or 2 more that come to mind. So yesterday I said Norbert Leo Butz and Brian Stokes Mitchell, just because Norbert's so versatile and Brian has like one of my favorite musical theater moments in New Music and Ragtime, when the like Sarah Come Down to Me moment that I would just listen to on repeat when I was geeking out in high school. But also just like career-wise, Hugh Jackman, I think he's another one who's been able to do everything so well and has like such an epic career and is obviously loves the theater and we'll be doing Music Man, but yeah, so he's one that's so well respected on and off the stage, and I think that I always admired as well.
And a good person. I hear he's like a really good.
Yeah.
Thinking that, I was like, everything I've ever heard about him is that he is incredible to work with.
Yeah.
The sweetest and the best.
Cool.
Here is his towel from the boy from Oz that he gave to my husband Preston.
That's cool.
He said, Preston, get up and dance with me during the second act. And he talked to all during the second act. And he said, here's a towel. Come back and see us afterwards.
I love that. That's awesome.
He's the sweetest guy besides being one of the most talented. What great choices for everybody this week. Okay, listen, for everyone watching at home, if you'd like to learn more about our remaining contestants, scan the QR code below to view the Broadway World's Stage Mag, which is an interactive virtual program to help you get to know all of our Next on Stage contestants and all of these incredible judges. To create a show program of your very own, just visit stagemag.broadwayworld.com. Now, judges, are you ready to visit our top 5?
Yes.
Oh, this is so exciting. Here we go. Okay, the first contestant in our top 5 is Nate Garner. Now, whose favorite Broadway performer is Elizabeth Stanley.
Oh,
Good choice.
I agree.
nice.
Totally.
One of my faves.
Okay. Oh, totally. Last week you heard him sing Till I Hear You Sing from Love Never Dies. And this week Nate is singing Household Name from The View Upstairs. Judges, enjoy Nate.
I have a voice that talks to me in my head sometimes. It says, why not do something extreme? Shave your eyebrows off, maybe buy a building. And this voice that talks to me in my head sometimes says, that's fucking brilliant, buy a building. So I bought a building, and the molding wood is dog shit brown, and everything has to be torn down and plastered over desperately. There's no plumbing, no Wi-Fi, no fire escape, just an ancient, damaged velvet drape that's older than me. You can call me delusional, but I've known since I was 18 that I would be the face of every major magazine. I don't need community, I don't have to belong, cause my 80,000 followers on Instagram just can't be wrong. And I touch my fate, the hell with the past, my future's great, and all starts today. I'll be a hashtag household name.
What a way to kick off our top 5. Nate, Queen Leslie, I'm going to start with you.
Nate, I love how versatile you are. Like, you have given us something different every week, and I'm bravo for that. I love it. As for this song, you kind of lost me. I did see this show. I don't remember this song very much, but I do think it's usually done by an older man. You just lost me a little bit. I just think it's a wrong song for you. You sang through everything. I wanted to hear a little more speaking, which is, I think, how it should be done. For me, it was song choice this week for you. It didn't do it for me. I'm not sure what to, because I really think you're so strong. This one just lost me.
Got it. Okay. Kate, for you.
Nate, I'm a little bit obsessed with you. I think you're so fascinating. I hear what Leslie's saying. I think that I don't know the show at all. I don't know the song. I was like, what are we doing? And so what I'm about to say might be very wrong. I missed the manicness of a character like this. Just listening to it, you're like, the first line or whatever is like, there's a voice in my head that says I should do something crazy, like shave my eyebrows. And you were like so grounded in that. It was so like, the voice in my head says, I should do something crazy, like shave my eyebrows. And I was like, I don't think that anything you just said is crazy. I also think that you find that to be totally normal, and you think that I might also. So I wondered if there was needed to like ratchet up the manic, the unstable, the like. I imagine this character from the 1 minute of music I've now seen about it to be bipolar or manic depressive or something that does this. And I felt like this character didn't do any of this. This character was like super cool and calm. And I think maybe we could have dialed up the crazy. To do that takes a lot of bravery, right? Especially with a song that maybe isn't as well known from a show that maybe isn't exactly right for you right this second, if it is normally like an older character. But I think, yeah, let's find something for you that you feel more comfortable living in, that can really show off your skills, because we already know you're great at comedy. We already know you have an incredible voice, and this didn't really show me either thing. And so I felt like you didn't serve yourself with this particular performance. But just being aware, I think you're awesome, and I hope that this is not a big deal for you. We can just like move on next week.
Kate said it way better than that's what I meant. But yes, Kate said it way better.
For you.
Yeah, Nate, I agree with the ladies. I think you're a really solid performer. I just think at this stage in the competition, I think we need something with a little more storytelling. I think we need something. We've seen your versatility already. I think our notes last week had a lot to do with showing sort of your acting chops and letting that sort of shine through. A couple technical things. I mean, for me, the instrumental overlay on your edit was so loud that I couldn't hear, your voice didn't come through, and so that was tough for me, and I couldn't get past that. But the good thing, though, there wasn't like junk or anything in the background like there was last week with like else. So that's great. But yeah, I just want a little bit more storytelling, and I kind of like what Kate and Leslie were saying. It's like, that maybe the unpredictability, make a choice where we feel like, oh, we don't know what's going to happen with a song like this. We're like, is this person, I'm actually terrified. Maybe just like a bolder choice next week and give us a little bit more of those acting chops. But I think you're solid. I think you're a super solid performer.
Great. Derek, for you.
Yeah, I second all of that. I just think you could have a little bit more fun. I think there was a lot of possibilities in this. You could have started in more of a catatonic place and eventually turned into this manic, depressive, person or a little bit more unpredictable, like Kate was saying. And I think that would have added layers to this character, especially the music kind of informs this change in the person. So I think go with that. So go back to the lyrics, go and listen to the actual instrumental underneath you, and that will kind of guide this character's trajectory, I think. I think that'll give you some clues and some tips and tricks. But your focus was really great. Obviously, you have a killer voice. I think now it's just honing it and focusing on the storytelling here, because I think there is a lot you could actually play with, and it could be really successful. You just got to be willing to go there, and you're never going to, reach that optimal level unless you take those risks and crash and burn. So pick a side. Either it's this catatonic character or it's a crazy manic, but either way, go strong. Yeah.
It's interesting. I think you said this yesterday, and Michael James and everybody said, this is the top 5. This is like callback time. This is like bring everything to the table, right? Wouldn't you all agree? This is like really think out the song choices and just go for it. This is towards the end of this whole competition. So this is going for the brass ring. Beautifully put, everybody. Okay, up next is Jamie Shea Kamen. She's our next contestant in the top 5. Her favorite Broadway performer is none other than our very own Queen Leslie Margarita.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
Poor girl.
So last week she sang When He Sees Me from Waitress, and this week Jamie Shea is singing He Wanted a Girl from Giant. Enjoy, judges.
He wanted a girl who hates dusty roads, but I'm a girl who enjoys the outside. I was that girl who could keep up with him. I would follow him anywhere he chose to ride. Then we would ride, barreling through the gullies, pitching tents and chewing jerky, showing off our scratches and favorite scars, teaching me to hold my bourbon, coaxing me to play my fiddle, making up songs, singing them to the stars. He wanted a girl who hates dusty roads, and he found him a girl who hates dusty roads. Their hearts was meant I'll be the fiddle playing, bourbon drinking girl to live with it.
Wow. Okay. Courtney, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, Jamie, you're like extremely talented. I think your choices are very subtle and beautiful and honest. I think you're a solid actress. I think your vocals are insane. The one note that I have for you is really, you know, singing is essentially a monologue with music, right? So you have to really understand what you're saying. And I think I used to hate getting the diction note. I hated it so much because I'm like, I don't know, I'm singing it and it feels right. You really have to chew those words because you have to understand what you're saying. And I'm not sure if it's also that the instrumental was a little bit loud this time too, or if your voice was maybe a little bit farther from the camera that I wanted. But I mean, I have to hear those words so that I can understand as an audience what you're singing about. But your pop sensitivity, your vocals are like really insane. I think you have really, really good instincts, and I think you're going to work for a really long time. Like you're very, very talented.
Beautiful. Derek, for you.
Yeah, I second. That was my note, is that you have such a great voice and such great musicality, but when we are attacking musical theater pieces, your singing choices should only support the acting choices, not the other way around. So whatever, don't let the riffs or your singing choices affect the storytelling, if that makes sense at all. Everything should be supporting the trajectory of your character and the story. And then you have these beautiful riffs and beautiful tricks that you can do with your voice on top of that, but make sure it doesn't pull away focus, and that our main objective is to tell this story. But I do think, I mean, Courtney said it, you're incredibly talented. Now it's just about like fine-tuning that talent and balancing the singing and the acting together.
Beautiful. Queen Leslie, for you.
My main note is I would pick someone better to look up to. Jamie, your voice unreal, and you're between that and your look, and you have such a cool way of interpreting these songs. I had the exact same note. It's just diction, and I think, is this Michael John LaCusa? Did he?
Yeah.
Do? Yeah. So his stuff, and we've talked about him before. It's so hard to sing and so hard to get his lyrics out. So really, like Courtney and Derek were saying, just chew on those words, because I saw everything in your face. I saw the story you were trying to tell. I just couldn't put it with the words. So I would just chew on those words. I think I can't wait to hear your album. Yeah. It's just the coolest thing, and I love that it's not heavy belty. It's so easy to listen to, and yeah, I love it. Diction, that was it. Diction, as I said, diction.
Kate, for you.
Yeah, I think my note is related, which is I agree with the diction note, and I think especially like when you pick Michael John LaCusa songs, like the way that he writes is not necessarily like, it doesn't necessarily lean into like, oh, natural sentence structure. So like you kind of have to like even double it higher, because I actually don't know what's coming based on like what you've already said, because that's just the way he writes. But I sort of want to give a slightly bigger note, and I may be in the minority about this, but I think in general the whole situation of stakes in this could have gone up a notch, and I think the diction would have come with it. I felt a little bit like you were sort of setting back, and there was like a passe-ness to this performance that exists in pop music. It doesn't necessarily exist in musical theater. In order for you to have to sing something in musical theater, it has to be important. I'm not saying that you might be pretending it's not important. Maybe you're trying to pass it off as okay, as not a big deal, but it still is a big deal, or you wouldn't be singing it. And I think that in general, this whole performance felt sort of like chilled back and like kind of like coffee shopy and like very comfortable. And I think that's where we lost the diction, is that we sort of lost the energy, the forward moving energy in general, and the diction went with it. So, and I think some of that is probably because you're literally performing to something that's like right in front of you, which is obnoxious and not like theater. But just be wary of that. Be wary of letting a sit back energy come into any of your musical theater performances, because that's not why we sing. You know, if you just wanted to say something casual, you would say it in one line and then we move over it. But like you say those lines, you repeat sentences in this song for a reason. So I know it's important, which means we can keep the stakes up a little bit higher, the energy up a little bit higher. Even if it's contained, it's still there. And I think that will naturally kind of pop the diction forward a little bit more.
Beautiful. Great feedback. Okay, up next is Mia Charisse Hall. Her favorite Broadway performer is Bettina Miller. Last week she sang Our Lady of the Underground from Hadestown, and this week she's taking on I Never Has Seen Snow from House of Flowers. Enjoy, a classic.
100 things I see, a twilight sky, that tree, but none so beautiful, not one so beautiful, like my love is, like my love is. Once you see his face, none can take the place of my love. A stone rolled off my heart when I laid my eyes on that near to me boy with that faraway look. And right from the start, I saw a new horizon and a road to take me where I wanted to be took, needed to be took. And though I never have seen snow, all the same I know nothing can ever be, nothing will ever be beautiful like my love is, like my love is to me.
Yes, Mia. Okay, Kate, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, your voice is beautiful. This is a really cool, like, new showcase for you vocally. And I, like, bravo for going somewhere very, very different and for sort of taking our notes last week about, like, picking something that was, like, a little bit more of a storytelling piece, which I love. I want you to focus though. I don't know this song well enough to know if you're performing this for 300 people. Maybe you are. I don't think that's what the number is. But I couldn't keep up with you in terms of where your focus points were. And again, I know that it's challenging to do this on camera. I really do understand that it feels wacko to like have a screen staring you down and trying to like have these large emotions and these large feelings that require you to sing. I just need to like still this a little bit because I got lost. I lost you. And I thought this was really cool. And I thought you sounded beautiful on this. I think you just remember like how tight this is. It's so tight. And so like this is a lot of movement. And it just is the nature of the beast is you have to still it down and you have to simplify. The change in focus, any sort of movement has to be chosen. So I really do say that with all the empathy in the world for how effing annoying it is to do musical theater on camera, but it does cut your audience out when they can't really hone in on what you're saying, and that's what this does. So it's really just a technical note, but I thought you sounded spectacular on it. But unfortunately, it's a big technical note. So sorry, that's me. It's a lot of
Great. Queen Leslie.
It was kind of the same thing. Mia, this was my favorite of your performances, vocally and even acting wise, except if you had, in this technical, you guys, I know this sucks. If you had framed it further back, it probably would have been phenomenal. But because it was so close, it became a film performance that was like, whoa, take it down a notch. So it was so good. So it's just a framing thing. Other than that, I just wanted to see a little more joy, a little more wonder, joy. And this, like Richie said, this is a classic, and it is so. It's this woman you just have to light from within. And I saw it sometimes. I just wanted to see it throughout. So yeah, it was mainly technical though. But you're so good.
Courtney, for you.
Yeah, I second exactly what these ladies have said. I literally wrote focus, energy. Like it really seemed a little bit frantic. And I think like with any audition song, especially if it's something that like not everybody knows, it's not like you're singing Defying Gravity. People don't know the context. They don't know who you're talking to. If you know who you're talking to, be specific, because I think when you walk into an audition room or if you're sending it a self-tape, make us understand where you are and who you're singing to and how you feel about it. And then if you're specific, then we will understand what's going on. And I did feel like, kind of like what Kate was saying, I just kind of didn't know what was going on. I wanted maybe the song to build a little bit more. It sort of started up here and then kind of ended at the same sort of level. You want things to build and have colors, and I know that it's tough because you have, it's right here and you have, just that small section of the song to sing. It's tough. So much of it is song choice and everything. I think you're supremely talented. I think you're absolutely stunning. I just want to see something else. I know you can do it.
Beautiful. Derek, for you.
Yeah, I second everything. It's the joy and focus. I think the two things you focus on in this one are it's introspective, but you're also singing about, correct me if I'm wrong, a person that she finds beautiful and that makes her feel something she's never felt. Is that correct? I'm not super
I would say, yeah.
Listening, but so you find if that is the person you're describing, then you have a clear focal point of like that portion of the song is being sung about this particular person, and then you find another focal point that's like this is like what's happening on the inside. But I think that is where we got a little messy. Is we were lost in our surroundings and also singing about a person, and then you kind of went into the camera a little bit, and that is a bold move on its own if you're going to sing directly into the camera. And if you're going to do that, you kind of need to like either commit to it for the full time or have a very specific reason why, or else we kind of get stuck in that. But yeah, so defining our focal points, and then yes, like Leslie said, just finding that joy. I mean, this is a positive song about love. So we could express that a little bit more.
Beautifully put, everybody. Okay, we have 2 contestants left in our top 5. One of them is Charlotte Odosanya, whose favorite Broadway performer is Audra McDonald. Last week, you heard her sing Stay With Me from Into the Woods, and this week, Charlotte is singing Legalize My Name from St. Louis Woman. Enjoy.
Will I, won't I, do I, don't I? All you wanna do is bill and call, but you're empty-handed when the bill is due. If you really love me and you love me true, legalize my name. Will I kiss you? Ain't the issue. You've been saying ever since we met that you want a sample of the way I pet. You've had all the samples that you're gonna get. Legalize my name. For we ever can dwell out of one valise. You must learn how to spell justice of the peace. My heart's glowing, sparks are showing. If you want those little sparks to burst into flames, you've got to legalize my name.
Wow.
That was
Queen
awesome.
Leslie, that was great. I'm going to start with you, Queen Leslie.
Charlotte, I love you, and I loved this. Look, this is Beyonce. It's put a ring on it, right? So all I wanted from you, and you had it was so great. I think and this whole song is about if you want the loving, then you put a ring on it. So all of those things about if you want the sparks to go for those jokes. Like, that is a sex joke. Go for that joke. So even like if you want to live out of one suitcase, if you want two things in one, it's all a sex joke. So really go for those jokes a little more. And I feel like you hit some of the jokes, but not the legalize my name one. I would just really go back and clarify some of those moments. This is so great for you. I loved it. I think you're so different and great. And I would go for some of those jokes. Like, you can hit us over the head a little bit more with them.
Terrific. That's great. Kate, for you.
Charlotte, I loved this. I thought this was awesome. But what I loved a lot about it was the joy that you clearly had in it. Like, you played. And again, that's what we do for a living, is we play. That is our whole point. To look like you were having fun, and so I was having fun. I can agree with Leslie. I think you can lead. I'm sure, like, to some degree, there's like are we really going to do this? Like, on Broadway World? But you did, right? You did pick this song, and you did do it on Broadway World. So yes, you're going to do this. You're going to make really overt sexual innuendos on Broadway World. And that's okay. That's where we're at. That's what we're doing today. So be brave with it. Be brave with those jokes. Like, the thing about comedy, right, is that you can't go 70% of the way. You've got to go 105% of the way. And so, like, go all the way there. Be brave with it. This was awesome. Also, we took second week in a row. I do not know what those vases are behind you. I'm obsessed with them. Last week I almost said something, and I was like, no, don't comment on that. Leave it alone. And this week I'm like, I want to know where you get them. I love the color of them. This is one of those weird moments where, like, it's not distracting. It just makes me happy, like, having this pop of red in the corner. So this week I'm deciding to say something because it brought me joy.
I love it. Courtney.
I know. I was like, what is this house? Fierce.
Right?
It reminded me of, like, one of those, maybe it was first season with the chandelier.
Chandelier. Yes, I had the same thought.
I was like, invite me, girl. Where do you live? Charlotte, I love this performance from you. I think your voice is honestly, like, insane. It's so great. It's so easy to listen to. It's so smooth and technical, and it just so unique. I love it. Yes, I would have to. I'm echoing what the ladies are saying. I would want maybe to choose a couple different tactics. You know, when you're trying to get something from your man, you got to sometimes use different tactics to get it. I loved at the end, you were like, okay, this is it. Like, ring things. This is obviously not working, because that's what's so funny about it, is that you're trying all of ththese different tactics to get what you want. You still aren't getting what you want. And so at the end, now you're like, now I'm pissed. Now I'm actually going to tell you how I really feel on the inside. But on the outside, I was trying to get, trying to be all sly and, like, cute. And then now I'm trying to be like, oh, but what if someone else comes? It's like, choose those options and those tactics, and then the comedy, I think, will come out. You can't go, like Kate was saying, it's like, you can't go 75, you got to go 100. And I think you could sort of amp it up a little bit more. But I loved the ring toss at the end, girl. I was like, yes, Heidi. Yes. Toss it. You won. Man.
For you.
I couldn't have said it better. I mean, that you guys all said it. I was super impressed. I mean, that's an example of the singing tricks and licks, complementing the acting choices and complementing who this person is. So that was fantastic. I think it warranted. Your voice is insane. You showed so many different levels of yourself, which I loved. You really just, like, put your full spectrum of who you were on display, which is exactly what you should be doing in these 32 bars. And like the lady said, I think now it's just about turning up some of those acting beats and clarifying those to take it to the next level. But awesome job. You're fantastic.
See, these are these songs that Ruth Brown did in Black and Blue, and Linda Hopkins and Pearl Bailey and Bessie Smith. These double entendre, I'm gonna get my man, or my, comparing
Like, I
the
can't
chair
sell
to
it.
a man.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't sell it. I'll spread it around. It's all those, and it starts big and it just keeps going with all that. Courtney, keep bringing it all on. Those tricks and licks, like Derek said. It's all those whole style of songs these girls did in all these shows.
I love that these kids are finding these old gems. Like,
I
these
know.
songs are amazing.
See, that's what I loved about this week too. St. Louis, House of Flowers.
Yeah.
And here we go. And lastly, here is Kodiak Thompson, whose favorite Broadway performer is Evil Noblezada. Last week, Kodiak performed Noel's Lament from Ride the Cyclone, and this week he's singing Later from A Little Night Music. Another classic. Enjoy.
Later. When is later? All you ever hear is later, Henrik. Henrik, later. Yes, we know, Henrik. Oh, Henrik. Everyone agrees. Henrik, please, Henrik. You have a thought you're fairly bursting with. A personal discovery or problem, and it's what's your rush, Henrik? Hush, Henrik. Goodness, how you gush, Henrik. Shush, Henrik. You murmur, it's just that, for God's sake! Later, Henrik. Henrik. Who is Henrik? Oh, that lawyer's son, the one who mumbles, bland and boring, yes, he's hardly worth ignoring, and who cares if he's all damned, I beg your pardon, up inside. As I've often stated, it's intolerable being tolerated. Reassure, Henrik, poor Henrik. Henrik, you'll endure being pure, Henrik. Though I've been born, I've never been. How can I wait around for later? I'll be 90 on my deathbed, and the late, or rather later, Henrik Egerman doesn't anything begin.
Kodiak. Kate, I'm going to start with you.
This song makes me laugh so hard, which is maybe it's meant to be that funny. I'm not sure it is. I just like the like teenage angst of this song is like it just like goes that feeling, and I just laugh every time, which means I'm old because it's no longer connect to. I just giggle at it now, like it's adorable. You sound fabulous, Kodiak. This is awesome, and kudos for picking. I mean, it's an incredibly challenging song. It's vocally, but also just musically. Doing this in an audition is brave because I can't promise you your pianist is going to be able to do that with you. So just know that, depending on what you're auditioning for and who's playing. I like this. I think this is a great performance for you personally. I think we can again, it's like 80% of the way there. I want you to dial it all the way up to the 100. I want you to lean so much farther into the like absolute sheer end of world. This is also about This is also about sex. This is also a song about how like people keep treating him like a little kid, and he like wants to be a man, right? He wants to be taken seriously. He wants to like have women take him seriously. And I think there's more dire stakes to this song and this was a very like we aren't quite ready to go postal, but we're like maybe like in a couple of weeks we're gonna go postal. This should be the couple of weeks. This should be the like at any moment he's gonna lose his mind. And it's funny, right? Like this is comedy at the end of the day. So like be willing to push it all the way to that extreme. is sort of my take on it. I can't separate from the image of like the cello with this song, of him playing the cello with himself, which is like the most ridiculous, dramatic thing. And so like well, of course I don't want you to go play the cello while you do this. Like that is the ridiculousness of this song, right? Is like he's in the revival, he was literally accompanying himself on an instrument that's shaped like a woman, that is the most dramatic sounding instrument of all time. So like, don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of the drama. Don't be afraid. It is melodrama. That is the point. So I liked it a lot. I think you can see where I can go further.
Beautiful. Queen Leslie.
I totally agree with Kate. Kodiak, your voice is unreal, and every week it's been unreal. So I am totally with Kate. I just wanted more of the desperation. Why is it not happening? Like why? And I saw a little more insanity, or a little more like he might kill me. Like so I need a little more of the angst instead of the psychotic part of him, which is fine, but maybe not throughout the whole thing. So for me, it was just the stakes as well. But different stakes, because you definitely had like the drama, but I wanted the longing.
Beautiful. Derek, for you.
Yeah, I agree with all the above. I'm not familiar with that song at all, so I thought this was supposed to be kind of like a crazy person. So like that, I that registered to me and that worked for me. But I do think, along with what Kate said, that and Leslie, just the peaks and valleys need to be a little bit higher and lower. And I think that expanding that dynamic between when he's keeping his cool and when he's losing his mind, I think will, one, help the humor, and two, just give us a clearer picture of who this person is. I think having those just the extreme emotions would help. But your voice is incredible. And I think it was a really strong performance. And I got nervous because you were looking into the camera, but I knew that you were doing that on purpose to try to make the audience feel slightly uncomfortable. And so therefore I was like, okay, I get it.
Love it. Courtney.
Yeah, that was my one sort of technical note, is that I feel like I want the down the barrel to be very intentional, and maybe not throughout most of the song, maybe throughout some of the crazier parts that you're feeling, the manic moments. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with this song either, so I was like, oh my gosh, he's a crazy, like, I don't know what's going to happen. So in that sense, like, if I don't know it, I felt like you made choices. I do agree with the ladies. I felt like this was, knowing your performance last week and then seeing your versatility to this week, I was like, wow, this was my favorite performance of the day, because I felt like your energy was honed and focused. Like, I think a lot of the notes that we've been giving to the other contestants are that it's kind of scattered, and I do really appreciate that your eyes weren't in just two spots. They were in several moments, but they seemed like they were rooted from the moments that you were feeling and the acting. So I like really appreciate you taking the notes from last week about like really feeling the emotions and having that take you to what your movement is. You know, it's kind of like you can't just like make choices for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like those were those choices that you made authentically. So I do appreciate that. I think you're so talented.
Beautiful. Well, there you have it, judges, our top 5. Now, when we come back, our judges will see performances from the bottom 3 performers who didn't quite make it there, pushing one of them into that last spot in the top 5. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, now our judges will watch performances from the bottom 3 performers who almost made it into our top 5. The judges will then convene and decide to allow one contestant to move forward with the competition. So first up is David Carver. Last week he performed Being Alive from Company, and this week he's singing Beautiful City from Godspell. Enjoy, David.
Can we see a ray of home? One golden ray, reaching for the day we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men. We may not reach the ending, but we can start slowly but truly mending, brick by brick, heart by heart. Now, maybe now, we start learning how, and we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men.
Okay, next we have Tori Vagassi. Last week, you heard Tori sing Making Good, a cut song from Wicked. This week, she's singing Journey to the Past, Derek from Anastasia. Enjoy.
Somewhere down this road, I know someone's waiting. Years of dreams just can't be wrong. Arms will open wide. I'll be safe and wanted, finally home where I belong. Well, starting now, I'm learning fast on this journey to the family. There was once a time I must have had them too. Oh, love, family. I will never be complete until I find you. And one step at a time, one hope, then another. Who knows where this road may go? Back to who I was, on to find my future, things my heart still needs to know. Yes, let this be a sign, let this road be mine, let it lead me to my past and bring me home at
And lastly, we have Ty Gabriel Jones. Last week, you heard him sing I Miss the Mountains from Next to Normal. And this week, he's taking on I'll Cover You Reprise from Rent. Enjoy.
Live in my house. I'll be your shelter. Just pay me back with 1,000 kisses. Be my lover. I'll cover you. planet don't got much baggage to lay at your feet, but sweet kisses I've got to spare. I'll be there and I'll cover you. Oh, I think they meant it when they said you can't buy love. Now I know you can rent it. A new lease, you are my love. On life, oh my life. I've longed to discover something as true as this is. If you're cold and you're lonely, you've got one nickel only. When you're worn out and tired, when your heart has expired, oh lover, I'll cover you. Yeah. I'll cover you. Yeah.
Wow, judges, you've got a lot to talk about. So when we come back, our judges are going to share who they want to save from the bottom three. Broadway's Next on Stage is sponsored by the International College of Musical Theater, offering world-class musical theater training taught by West End and Broadway professionals. They bring in the very best talent from both sides of the Atlantic, who know what it takes to succeed in order to provide the best training available anywhere in the world. So go to www.theicmt.com today to start your journey to Broadway, the West End, and to wherever your musical theater dreams may take you. All right, judges, we are back. Who do you want to save from our bottom three for that last spot in the top five?
It's so tough. It's the worst, really, when we have to pick because you all are so extremely talented. But we are going with Ty Gabriel Jones, honey. First of all, we want to say thank you so much for not singing in your dorm room with the kilos behind you. I was like, yes, come on, give me Black Box. Give me anything besides the kilos and the mattress. You are so talented. Your voice is incredible. I just think that you are going to go places. Yeah. We have a couple notes for the folks next week. You know, we're in top 5 moments. What will it be next week? Top 3?
Yeah,
top three. Yeah.
Top 3. I think so much of this is riding on making choices, being invested, and song choice.
Yeah.
You want to talk about song choice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, we talked a lot about song choice, and I think a lot of you got stuck in your choices this week. And in my opinion, what makes good song cut is either an event has just taken place before the song happens that causes the character to change from one state of mind to another to show a progression of this character's journey. Or in the middle of the song, the character presents a predicament and has like a light bulb moment in the middle of the song that causes their perspective to change. But regardless, whatever that cut is, you want something that's going to give you the optimal amount of options. If it's not really a story that progresses the character in any certain way, then maybe it's not the best cut for you, because we want to see a journey. It should be like a 3-act play in these 32 bars. And it will give you more options and things to do and a trajectory for these characters so that we don't get stuck on one note the whole time. So think about that as you guys choose your song choices for next week. And also we had talked about choosing a song that is, or a character that is appropriate for you, that you can play now, that could showcase what you can do and how castable you are right now, because that's also really important. So the character's progression or showing multiple colors of these people and choosing something that's appropriate for you, I think, at least for me, and I think we've all talked about this, are keys to having a successful audition and setting yourself up for success.
Beautiful. Kate, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I do. I want to say generally, I think that the other thing to remember, guys, when you're picking song choices is that it has to be something that inspires joy in you. What doesn't mean it has to be a happy song. It just means you have to love doing it. We want to see you love something, right? That's the most important thing as a performer that you can do, is bring the joy of whatever the experience is that you're explaining or experiencing. Bring the joy of being a part of that to the performance, because joy, the internal joy of a performer, is the thing that shines through. That's what illuminates the truth of what you're saying, is the joy that you have when you are saying it. So bring something joyful. Again, not happy, not saying happy songs. I'm just saying bring some joy as a performer to your pieces. And I specifically want to say this to Ty Gabriel, who we just pulled from the bottom. Ty, I want you to pick a song for next week that is somewhat upbeat, somewhat joyful, something age appropriate and contemporary. Because I think in general right now, your song choices have steered you in a direction that is not something, you are so castable, you are so talented. And yet I desperately need you to pick a song that is something that you can really showcase who you are right now, what you have experienced in your life up till this point, and how you feel about the things that are happening in your life right now. That's what I need you to bring to a number. So pick something youthful, contemporary, upbeat, joyful. Give us something like that rather than the song that a mid-40s man is singing at his lover's funeral, or the song that a woman who's dealing with crazy addiction and the loss of her family son is going through, like severe emotional trauma. Bring me something that you can connect with right now as you are today.
Beautiful. Queen Leslie, do you want to add something on that?
Yeah, you guys, come on. This is it. Go big or go home.
You're already home.
You're like, go big. You have nothing to lose at this point. So do something that is something that you would walk into a Broadway audition with, because that's also important. What Derek was saying about song choice, yes, I know this is weird because we see you perform over weeks, but if you walked into a Broadway audition and did some of these choices, behind the table, I'd be like, I don't want to spend a year with this person. They're depressing. They'll give you, if they want you to sing something different, they will give it to you. So put your best foot forward with these small cuts. Even if you're auditioning for a dramatic role, you've got to show something other than, because you have such limited time to make an impression for these people who don't know you. And even when they do know you, they're going to put you in a box. So you want to show them something that is out of the box. So choose. Choice. These song choices are most important. But I would say just throw it all out there, you guys. You've got nothing to lose. We love you. We think you're amazing. Just go for it.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing. I feel like this season we've been giving a little bit of like Simon Cowell vibes, but it's because we care so much and because you all are so supremely talented and you're like you're like almost there. And so we're pushing you and we're being tough love because we know that you can get there. But I was like, dang, we so savage this season. Like, what are we doing?
You're so right, though. They're so good. You know, every season, you guys are so good. And we always say, we're never working because you guys are so good, every single one of you. And we just want to get you there.
Like you always say, this is college. Their next step is auditioning for the big time. No one's going to coddle that in that audition room. They're going to be, thank you, next, goodbye. And they're going to be like, what just happened? You know, you guys are masters. You're all the very best at what you do. You're giving them the advice to move out of college. And if you're doing a career, this is what you need to put out there. So I want to thank you all. What a fabulous week. I mean, what a great, Derek, thank you for joining us. And I mean,
thank you guys. This is always so fun. I love it.
Congratulations on your Tony nomination. We are all going to be there on, we're so proud of you and so happy for you. We're all going to be there on September 26th. Everybody adores you. Everybody, will see you next week. Oh, I have to say congratulations to everybody who's moving on to the top 5. We'll be back next Friday, June 4th at 8 p.m. to announce who is making into the next round. And make sure to follow Broadway World on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to find out when the next round of voting is open to the public. Good night, everybody. Have a great week. Great week. We'll see you next week.